Helping Seniors Television, all about improving quality of life for seniors. If you're a senior, know a senior, or plan to be a senior, then this show is for you. It's all about helping you develop your own aging plan so you can age actively and with dignity. Helping Seniors Television from the Helping Seniors Network of information, education, and resources. First up on Helping Seniors TV, a look at Senior Expos and Events. Our guests on this segment are John Frederiksen, publisher of the popular Senior Scene magazine, and Nina Verusso, president of Central Florida Expos, the area's leader in senior expos. Filmed on location at the Helping Seniors Mega Senior Expo at the Melbourne Auditorium, let's join the discussion. I'm Kerry Fink, in for Joe Steckler, who is the president and founder of Helping Seniors Network, and we're here on Helping Seniors TV. And what an exciting day this is, because we're actually live and we're on location here at the Melbourne Auditorium, where we are participating in the 2016 Mega Senior Expo. And what an amazing place this is today. There's over 70 different tables with information and things of value for seniors to get information about. And there's been hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands already today, who've been through the doors. And what we're going to talk about today on this particular segment of Helping Seniors TV is actually Senior Expos, what they're all about, who should attend them, and why we do them. And so I have a couple of folks who are very, very expert at this. Just directly right here is Nina Verusso, who is the organizer of Central Florida Expos, and you're the brilliance behind this kind of an event. And sitting next to her is John Frederiksen, who is the publisher of Senior Scene magazine and a great friend of Helping Seniors over the years. As you may know, when you pick up your copy of Senior Scene magazine each month, you look to the center and you'll see the Helping Seniors newsletters published in there. There's articles from our president and founder, Joe Steckler, lots of good information to be found in there. But today our topic is, what is a Senior Expo? So let me start with you. What is a Senior Expo?
A Senior Expo is basically a gathering of and a celebration, a one-day basically celebration for the seniors in our community. We have over 100,000 seniors that live year-round in Brevard County. They need information about their health, their lifestyle, where to go to get screenings, where to go to learn about what they're eligible for. And it is very hard for seniors, especially the ones that can't use the computer, to be able to get in the car and go to look for these things. So we bring together a group of organizations and businesses that can provide that all in one day, all under one roof. And that's what a Senior Expo is. And of course, we usually have entertainment and all kinds of goodies for the seniors to make them happy.
Sure. Well, you know, Joe Steckler, our president and founder, he's always had this sort of a statement about helping seniors. We want to help people age with dignity. And he also likes to use this term of coming up with an aging plan. And so he wants people to get ahead of the aging curve. And that's one of the reasons why Helping Seniors is so busy with TV, with radio, with print, and all the things that, you know, everybody says. I'll say, oh, you know, Joe, oh yeah, I read his article every, you know. Absolutely. So everybody knows that. And this is now one of the areas that's so important, because you're doing the same thing. You're getting the information out there. John, as a publisher of Senior Scene, what is the motivation for you to be part of this?
Well, as with the magazine, we want to show that we care about the seniors, we're paying attention to them, and we want to provide the information, whether it's in the magazine, whether it's at an expo, that we're pulling them in. It seems like there's not enough attention paid to the senior population, whether it's education on the different services available or just general information in the community. And that's where the expo can come in. You'll see quite a variety of exhibitors here today. Some that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be senior focused. You know, they're in entertainment and general retail, and they're here giving the support to the senior population.
You know, it is interesting. I was just talking with somebody before, with the cameras are rolling. We live in a county where basically 1 in 4 people is over 65, and if you want to use the AARP definition of a 50 plus, it's almost 1 in 2 persons. So you couldn't almost hardly be in business in Brevard County and not need to understand something about the special and unique things about seniors in our area. So let me ask, what kind of people should come to a Senior Expo? When you put these on, who are you wanting to see come through the doors, and how will it benefit them?
Oh, absolutely. Who we want to attend these events are just like helping seniors try to do by educating the seniors to come up with a plan. We try to have that plan basically for them during the event. You can't wait until you need the product or the service. Come shop it around while you don't need it yet. If you are 40 years old, 50 years old, or even 80 plus, you should, if you have the time, stop by one of these events and see what's available, because things change. We offer a lot of health screenings that are free the day of the event. And what we ask the seniors to do is come and have a baseline test done. It is free. There is no strings attached. Nobody's gonna spam them with phone calls or emails or anything like that from our shows. We just ask them to come and have a baseline done so they know where they are. This way, if something happened and they get ill, they can go to their doctor and say, 3 months ago, here is where my blood pressure was. Here is where my memory was. Here is where my hearing was. Because if it's a fast decline, it usually shows something. And we also encourage caregivers to come to these things, because there is a lot of options out there for seniors from the state, from the VA, from the county, and from the federal government that is available. There is grants, there is all kind of programs, but sometimes you cannot find them even online. And when you come here and you talk, for example, to the gentleman from Florida Family and Children Services, he can tell you what you're eligible for from as far as food stamps or housing vouchers if you are on a very low income, to what kind of taxes, the cuts that you qualify for if you have a lot of properties. So it's basically for everybody, and we encourage the seniors to come, but we also encourage some of the caregivers. You don't have to be over 50 to come. If you want to come and get the information for an Asian parent or a friend, please do, because sometimes you can get a lot of help that you don't know that you can qualify for unless you talk to somebody.
Yeah, well, as you both know, one of the things that Helping Seniors does is we have an information hotline, and people call our Helping Seniors office, and that's really it. We find out a lot of times there are services and things that are available to help, and oftentimes because our folks, the team, Kay Kaiser, Joe Steckler, and the other people on the team, they know how to link somebody to something that they did not know was available to them. And John, isn't that part of your motivation behind publishing Senior Scene? You're trying to be proactive and get information in front of them, both in the magazine and then when you participate in events like this.
Right, and we get a lot of calls at the office of people needing help. Do I know such and such a type of service? And a lot of times I will forward them to your office, the Helping Seniors of Brevard, and I'll get feedback that that they're happy with the service and the information they've gotten from your organization. And I wanted to mention, adding to what Nina was saying, we've been to a lot of these expos and health fairs where we've had a booth, and a lot of times the folks visiting our booth are 2 generations, the adult children and the senior parent. The adult child might be a senior too, but in any case, you'll see that inter-family support, and they're looking for information, and they want to help, and this is a good place to come.
Wow. Well, let me ask, in kind of keeping with that, I know you guys are experts in events in general, and you organize many different types of events. What made you decide that seniors were a good fit for what you do, and you really have made a commitment because you're doing these, it seems like almost one a month, and you make sure that you're getting to different parts of the county so different people can access this?
What we tried in the beginning to do is the health portion was just a part of bigger events that we used to do. We used to produce the Space Coast Women Expo and different other events. And then we saw the need. And I remember meeting John at the Melbourne Chamber of Commerce. And he was starting the magazine back then. And we talked about it. And when we realized how much need was in this community, that's when we decided that we're gonna go down that road. And I'm glad we did, because now we even expanded it to some of these events, including veterans, which is another segment that wasn't touched. And we have a lot of veterans that live here.
Right, I've seen figures that about 17% of the county population is military, whether it's retired or current serving veterans. And yeah, it's a very interesting group, and somebody you really want to get to know. And as far as serving the community, early on I had seen that the media really wasn't paying much attention to the senior population. They weren't giving them the coverage in the newspaper or whatever type of press, and giving them the information they needed, and kind of treating them as second-class citizens. And that's certainly something we try to combat. Somebody asks you what is a senior, and you get the image of the comedians in Hollywood or something with the walker and the oxygen bottle or whatever. And, we can see them walking by here. It's, they're mobile. They're interested in travel.
Yes.
And that needed the attention of the community. And that's why I do the magazine, and that's why Nina provides this service of the health fairs and expos.
And the companies did take note, because it's not about just the assisted livings and the nursing homes and the insurance anymore. Now it's a more diversified group, because the seniors are taking better care of themselves because the information and the services are out there. So we see a lot of them coming to these shows because they want to keep up with the grandchildren. One of the things that I would love to do in the future is trying to get classes while the shows are going to educate them more about the online stuff, because that's still a little bit lacking.
It's so important. Well, we are really just about out of time, and I want to thank both of you guys for taking the time to be here. I do believe, particularly as things move forward, and you guys are partnered together and helping seniors is certainly, we're just honored to be part of all of this with you guys, because we're working together to make sure seniors are getting the good information that's out there. So John and Nina, thank you for being part of the Helping Seniors TV program on today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Next up on Helping Seniors TV, more on Senior Expos and Events. Our guests on this segment are John Frederiksen, publisher of the popular Senior Scene magazine, and Sandra Locke of Vitas Healthcare, a Helping Seniors business partner and an exhibitor at this recent Helping Seniors Mega Senior Expo at the Melbourne Auditorium, where this program was taped. Let's join the discussion. I'm Kerry Fink. I'm here for Joe Steckler, who is the host of the Helping Seniors Network television program. And what a beautiful day it is here in Melbourne, Florida. We're actually on location at the Melbourne Auditorium, and the event of the day is the 2016 Senior Mega Expo. And Mega Expo is right. There's over 70 tables with information and things of value for seniors and those who care for them and love them here at this event. And there is all kinds of excellent information, and we've seen hundreds and probably thousands of people already through the doors today. And what we're going to do is talk about Senior Expos and why they're a valid way for getting information in the hands of seniors. If you know, our founder and President Joe Steckler has always had this mandate about helping people age with dignity. And what he means by that is helping them get in mind an aging plan that gets them sort of ahead of the aging curve. So they're really ready to tackle the things that they may need to tackle as life goes along. And so today, on our program today, we have the pleasure of welcoming John Frederiksen, who's the publisher of Senior Scene magazine. I would argue it's the preeminent publication in our county. I think there's something like probably a readership of 25, 30,000 people for every issue. I know it gets snapped up as soon as it hits the shelves. And then also together with us is Sandy with Vitas Healthcare. And Sandy, tell us a little bit about your role. You're here as they call it a vendor, sponsor, participant, but you're really here in an informational role to let people know about things that they need to know about hospice and those kind of things. Why is it important for you guys to be at an event such as this?
Well, the great thing about Vitas is it follows right along with the Senior Expo's goals of educating our seniors and being ahead of that aging curve. We do provide a hospice service, but there's a lot of education that we can provide to our seniors. Goals of care discussions. Today we're focusing on our veterans and what we do for our veteran population. About 1 in 4 people over 65 are in Brevard County, and many of them are veterans. And veterans face unique needs when they're dealing with advanced illness, such as PTSD, depression, alcoholism, a lot of different psychosocial issues that we can help with. So really the goal is for us to do a lot of education to the community, and because there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about hospice care, and also about kind of in the military. I was in the military, and you train the trainer. So what I like to do at expos like this is educate every single person so that they can educate other people in the community, because they may not need hospice care, but someone they know may, and that's why we're trying to come out to events and partner with Senior Expo to provide that education out to the community.
Yeah, and John, as a publisher of an information resource in our county, Senior Scene magazine, and for those of you who may not be aware, helping seniors, there's a special pullout 8-page section in the center of Helping Seniors magazine. And what happens in there is every month, and oftentimes Kathleen Laporte from Vitas, she'll do an article introducing the services, because people often don't know what they're going to run into, and then when things confront them, they don't even know who to ask or the right questions to ask. John, you're sort of in the information business, just like Joe has positioned for us to do. What do you see as the value of participating in a senior expo like this?
Well, it's a partnership. It's a recognition of the senior population in Brevard County. And you'll have to pick your own definition of what a senior is. But in any case, they need the recognition. They need the help, the access to information of the services that are available. You might think, well, health comes to mind, but there's finance, there's entertainment.
Right.
And expos and health fairs like this brings it together for the seniors. They can get out. They can take a look, take their time, talk to the providers, the people that know about these services, and get a good, balanced perspective of the information they need. They might not know they need the information, but when they go by a booth or a table and see and read and talk to these people, they get that information they need. It's important.
You know, what you're saying is so true, because helping seniors, one of the things that Joe has organized in helping seniors is we have a senior advocacy council, which you've been very much part of. You've helped us publish senior surveys and things like that. And so we always ask the community, as a senior, what are the things that you feel you need? And you know, what was surprising is, I remember the first time we did this, it was a real eye-opener. We were thinking, well, everybody's going to say they need more money. Everybody's going to say there's going to be something that they need. And the number one thing that we discovered across everything was they said, we need more information. Because when you have good information, you have options, and there's things you can do. And I want to ask you about that as it pertains to Vitas. That must be why you guys are really focused on being a resource in the community like that, is to get ahead of the curve so people understand all misconceptions or things that they might not understand. Is that really the focus of what you want to do while you're at an event talking to folks?
Education is definitely the primary focus, because like I had a great example of somebody had said, hey, would you talk to the son? And I talked to the son. Obviously he doesn't need hospice services,
right.
But when I talked to him about the services, he's like, oh my goodness, this would be a perfect answer for my father. Can I have some information? So really it is about educating our community, and also giving back to our community in a variety of ways. Like Vitas is a proud supporter of Honor Flight to our veterans, and so we do a lot of community outreaches that aren't solely for those patients that are dealing with an advanced illness. We have a lot of community outreach with the Hispanic community, with the African American community, and the goal is education and educating our population so they have the knowledge, because then they can have all that knowledge before a crisis occurs.
You know, and I think one of the things, I was going to ask you guys what you think about the attendance trends. Do you see more and more people coming to senior events? And I was going to ask you the question. It seems like it's a great low pressure way for people to ask questions in sort of a safe environment. Nobody's going to hammer them into a corner. They can just get some information. They can receive it at whatever level. I want to ask somebody, I can pick up a brochure. I mean, what is your feeling about what you see with attendees at events like this, John?
Oh, that's a perfect way to present what's going on here. And one thing we don't talk about too much is the information is both directions. Mm-hmm. The expo, the Senior Scene magazine, becomes a forum for the senior community. They can come here to the expos and talk to the vendors, talk to your organization, and give feedback. You know, you find out what's important. You find out what's bothering them, which you don't necessarily get in a more formal environment. But in this kind of environment, that feedback, whether it's general or whether it's specific, you get it here. And that's an important service of this type of event.
Yeah, that's a very good point. As an old research guy who grew up, really in analytical research, I remember they would talk before you actually launch a survey. You would do something that amounts to a focus group where you're going to sort of get some opinions or things people say this is important, and then that helps you guide to ask the bigger questions to validate whether that sample was the right way of thinking. And what you guys are talking about, particularly like when we talk about veterans, I would assume, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that you're finding a lot of people coming out that really are gaining information that they just really didn't even know was an option for them.
Definitely. And that's the biggest thing about expos like this and other fairs that we do, is that you always talk about, they're going to come with a question. Sometimes they don't even know they have the question in the first place. So people don't know what they don't know, kind of thing. And so that's another great thing about the expos, what you do in regards to educating our public.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Joe Steckler, when he founded Helping Seniors, which has now been five plus years, and we really manage a lot of cases. People call our information hotline, and Kay Kaiser, she's there, and because of her experience, she knows how to sometimes cut through red tape and go, no, this is who you need to talk to, or this is what happens. And you guys have both been very strong supporters of Helping Seniors, both the partnership that Helping Seniors has had with Senior Scene magazine, which begins with Joe's column, but it ends with, an actual information resource in the center of each magazine, and even Vitas has come come alongside and been very good at providing information that we can pass along to people who are reading. What do you find good and helpful about that association? John, let me just ask you.
Well, and it's all tied in. Like a current article from Joe talks about the planning. You mentioned getting ahead of the curve. Plan for aging. You know, it may be a tough subject, but all that comes together with that kind of a relationship, the relationship with Senior Scene and the Central Florida Expos with Nina. It provides that fostering environment to keep it in people's minds that this kind of planning is important. Address a problem before it's too late.
Yeah, and that's such a good point. You know, you're talking about tough subjects that otherwise are people probably might shy away from otherwise. And that's really what you have an opportunity to do is give them a better understanding of the processes and help them through maybe some of their fears and things. Isn't that really also part of what you're doing?
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of fears with aging. We're a death-phobic society,
yeah, sure.
But our goal is to improve the quality of life. Hospice care is not about how you want to die, but how you want to live.
Right.
And so that's really the focus of ours. But you're exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of education and a lot of dealing with people's fears and overcoming those. But you try to start ground up. Like, I talk to everybody, whether you're 18 or you're 80.
Right.
It's about saying the same message to everybody and letting them know that let's get the education out there before a crisis hits.
You know, and that's really the point. I always have used this thing. It's, you know, aging is on-the-job training because you know, nobody's really been there until you're there and you're working through it. And a lot of times you get thrown into a crisis. And that's really what happens with these senior expos is you're getting people in front of all that. You're getting them to at least be aware of things that they should be thinking of. We have just like, you know, half a minute left. I was going to let you comment on this particular expo. How are you guys enjoying today?
Yeah, I'm a little distracted here watching people walk by as we're talking, and it's quite a interesting observation, I guess you'd call it.
I
people
think
watching.
Nina does a tremendous job with this. Any closing thoughts on this?
No, Dina does a wonderful job. We've been a proud supporter with Senior Expo for 7 years. We absolutely love coming to these events, and we love getting in front of everybody and talking with our community.
So good. Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and thanks
Pleasure.
for being part of Helping Seniors.
Thank you.
I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses, and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.